Okay, hello dear friends, good afternoon, such a beautiful afternoon. So let's keep on at this beautiful book, A Dream of Red Mansion, page 119. Since Xi Feng had been so busy running the household and organizing the New Year celebrations, she soon suffered a miscarriage. Lady Wang therefore delegated some of her duties to Li Wan and told Tan Chun to be of assistance where necessary. While Li Wan and Tan Chun were discussing the new arrangements, the wife of Wu Xindeng, the Jia family's accountant, arrived to tell them that as concubine Zhou's brother had died the day before, she wished to have money to bury him. After discussing the matter, Tan Chun decided upon giving her the traditional amount of 20 silver tael. However, since concubine Zhou was Tan Chun's mother, she soon arrived to try and get more money. Yet Tan Chun would not change the amount, saying, "I've only just been given this responsibility, and if Lady Wang finds out you are here, I am sure to be removed from this position, to save from my being put in an embarrassment. Lady Wang will remove me. Do you really want us to both lose face?" Tan Chun, what a smart and strict young lady. Since the emperor had called the Zhen family, who lived south of the Yangtze River, to the capital, 4 of the Zhen's servants called at the Rong mansion on their way. When they told the Lady Dowager that the Zhen family also contained a young man called Bao Yu, the Lady Dowager sent for Bao Yu. The 4 women were amazed. "He could be the identical twin of our Bao Yu," they said. Bao Yu returned to his room to take a nap. He dreamed that he was in a garden and that some servants were coming towards him. However, they did not recognize him, so he walked up the steps of a courtyard. Inside a room, he came across a young man lying on a couch, who said to him, "An old woman told me that there is another Bao Yu in the capital. I just had a dream that I was there in a huge garden, where I was approached by some girls who would not talk to me, as they said I was a stinking wretch." So Bao Yu saw another person, another Bao Yu. Okay, Bao Yu decided to visit Dai Yu, only to find that she was napping. However, Zijuan was sitting on the veranda, doing some sewing. Bao Yu saw that she was only lightly dressed, so began to pull on her clothes. and the feel of his touch, 紫娟 and at the feel of his touch, 紫娟 got up and walked away, making 宝玉 feel bitterly rejected. He sat and looked at the bamboo grove, where Mrs. Zhu was doing some pruning. Mrs. Zhu was doing some pruning. 雪雁 appeared, carrying some ginseng back from Lady Wang's room. She saw 宝玉 lost in thoughts beneath the peach tree. So 宝玉 lost thought in the peach tree. 雪雁 When 雪雁 got to the bamboo lodge and told 紫娟 how sad 宝玉 had looked, 紫娟 went to find him. She tried to make him feel better, but also found herself making up the lie that 黛玉 would soon return to Yangzhou. 宝玉 was thunderstruck. So 紫娟 went to tell him something, that 黛玉 is going back to Yangzhou, and 宝玉 was very surprised. Page 122. 晴雯 spotted 宝玉 looking completely dumbstruck, with dribble coming from his mouth and his eyes empty black pools, and so quickly took him to Happy Red Court. Nanny Li began to sob when she saw him, believing him to be close to death. After she found out what had happened, 黛玉 ordered 紫娟 to go and tell 宝玉 the truth. 紫娟 arrived to find the Lady Dowager and Lady Wang waiting to punish her. However, 宝玉 suddenly grabbed her and began crying. If you go, then I will go with you, he sobbed. When 宝钗 visited the bamboo lodge a few days later, she found her mother talking to 黛玉. When they began to mention a marriage, and 宝钗rested her head against her mother's breast and asked laughingly, "Shall we go now?" Tears came into 黛玉's eyes. Aunt Xue told her not to worry because she cared about her deeply. Why couldn't 黛玉 and 宝玉 be engaged? Aunt Xue said to her daughter. That way everyone would be happy. 紫娟 had been listening to the conversation and quickly joined in, urging Aunt Xue to suggest the idea to the Lady Dowager. Page 123. After the grand imperial concubine died, all the official families began to disband their private opera company. Some of the actresses from the company in the Rong mansion stayed on as a servant. Wen Guan was kept by the Lady Dowager, where Feng Guan went to 宝玉. Rui Guan 锋锐。瑞官 to 宝钗，欧官 to 黛玉，魁官 to 湘云 and 窦官 to 宝琴。Though it was time for the clear and bright festival, 清明节 for the clear and bright festival, 宝玉 was not yet strong enough to go to the temple to give a sacrifice to the dead. Instead, he wandered around the court with the aid of a walking stick. Many servants were planting lotus or dredging the lake, while 湘云、香莲 and 宝琴 watched from the rocks, and he walked behind the rocks. As he walked behind the rocks, 宝玉 came across 欧官, crying as she burnt some paper money for the dead. Another angry woman servant appeared to drag her back to her mistress, but 宝玉 held out his cane and told her that 欧官 was helping him and was not to be disturbed. Page 124. 宝钗sent 婴儿 to borrow some rose medicine from 黛玉. Rose medicine, 牡丹药. 瑞官 accompanied 婴儿 and watched her pick many pillow twig from the willow twig from the willow bank as they walked. 婴儿 told 瑞官 to carry these as she intended to weave them into a basket. After they had borrowed the rose medicine from 黛玉, 欧官 came along with them. On their way back along willow bank, 樱瓜 picked some more twig and sat down on a rock to begin the job. 樱瓜. One of 宝玉's maid, a girl named 春燕, then appeared. Why were you burning paper the other day? She asked 欧官. My aunt planned to report you, but 宝玉 told her off, and she became so upset that she went to complain to my mother. As 春燕 was speaking, her aunt appeared. Page 125. 春燕's aunt was annoyed that the girls had picked so many flowers and twigs and began to beat 春燕 in her anger. 春燕's mother happened to arrive then and joined in by slapping her daughter around the head. 春燕 ran crying towards the happy red court, followed by her mother, who had not finished beating her. Quickly, Luckily for Chunyan, Bao Yu stepped out and promised to look after her. Meanwhile, when Xi Ren told Ping Er what had happened, Ping Er ordered that Chunyan's mother be beaten. Chunyan's mother then began to sob and beg for mercy. Chunyan's mother. Bao Yu protected Chunyan and decided to beat her, to beat Chunyan's mother. Page 126. Rui Guan instructed Chunyan to give the rose medicine to Feng Guan. When Jia Huan saw it in Bao Yu's room, however, he tried to ask for half of it for himself. Yet Feng Guan would not give up her gift. Instead, she whipped up a packet of jasmine powder and took it to Jia Huan. When concubine Zhou found out that her son had been tricked, she made her way to the Happy Red Court and threw the powder in Feng Guan's face before attacking her. Feng Guan screamed out and went into a tantrum. Ou Guan, Rui Guan, Kui Guan, and Dou Guan, who were nearby, all ran to Happy Red Court. As Dou Guan had butted concubine Zhou, the other three began to slap her and pull at her clothes as they cried and shouted. The fight did not come to an end until Madame Yu, Li Wan, Tan Chun, and their servants arrived. They were just fighting like crazy. And then someone come to the rescue. Li Wan, Madame Yu, Li Wan. Page 127. When Feng Guan made her way to the kitchen, she spotted an old servant carrying some hot cake. Can I have one of those? Feng Guan joked, but Xiao Chuan, the maid in Xiao Chan, but Xiao Chan, the maid in service, was not amused. These were made for others, she said. Okay, we will finish at page 126, and this will be a new chapter.